Hey everyone, David here. Just in the next minute or two, I want to explain to you why the NDAA, the National Defense Authorization Act, which just cleared the Senate in a 81-14 vote, I need to explain to you guys why this is the most important issue in the country right now, or certainly one of the top two issues, and it's something that everybody needs to read up on, everybody needs to talk about here on YouTube, over on Twitter, on Facebook. This is a huge issue that the mainstream media is ignoring, and it affects you and me directly and all Americans, all 312 million of us. The National Defense Authorization Act, as I said, just passed the Senate today in a decisive vote, and it gives a $633 billion, with a B, $633 billion spending budget for the military. And this thing is not being looked at all by the mainstream media. If we're going to talk about the fiscal cliff and, the widening deficit and all of these economic problems, why are our politicians, the Republicans and some of the big government Democrats, why are they ignoring this elephant in the room? This is $633 billion of spending. Apparently there's a provision in there which allows federal money to be used on propaganda on U.S. soil for the first time since, I believe, World War II. So to translate that for people who aren't really political, this means that our taxpayer money starting in 2013 can be used to tell the American people lies, to literally make stuff up and then advertise it on TV and through other media outlets using our money. And it doesn't have to be truthful, it can be propaganda. That's in the NDAA, and also the imprisonment without trial controversy. The NDAA has, last year's version that was passed, has indefinite detention provisions. Section 1021 would allow the military to imprison American citizens on U.S. soil without charge or trial, without access to a trial, and they can do that on suspicion alone. So if anybody in the government says, hey, I think this might be a bad guy, this might be a terrorist, they can imprison you for the rest of your life and not give you a trial nor even access to an attorney. It's totally scary, fucked up stuff, because if you've ever been through a TSA line, you know that the government is not always efficient, and they make mistakes, and you don't want to wind up on the wrong person's list and then end up going to prison and not having access to a trial and an attorney. These are really basic things. I mean, your right to a trial is enshrined in the Constitution, in the Bill of Rights. It seems kind of silly that we even have to talk about this stuff because it's such a basic part of our system, such a basic part of what it means to be an American citizen, that you do have a right to a trial, and the government cannot lock you up for the rest of your life for no reason, without bringing any charges against you, and without giving you the opportunity to explain yourself in front of a jury of your peers. So this is all in the NDAA. The mainstream media, for whatever reason, is totally ignoring it. If you try to tweet mainstream media anchors or producers, they will either ignore you or they will tell you that they've already covered this. They have not covered this. They have not covered the fact that the Feinstein Amendment to the NDAA, which would have blocked indefinite detention of American citizens, that even though it had broad support from both parties, at the last minute was withdrawn. It is no longer in the bill. And what do you need to do right now? I know this sounds really complicated because it is. It's this massive bill that has so many things jammed into it, and people are not paying any attention to it. It's a disaster. I mean, it also contains some provisions that would provide more support for military rape victims, which is obviously a great thing. That's a good thing. But the problem with that is they have it crammed into this bill, which also has a lot of evil stuff in it, like the legalizing propaganda and $633 billion of defense spending, and the ability to imprison Americans without a trial. And then they have this thing that's good for rape victims in the military, and they have that thrown in there. So anybody who opposes this thing, and possibly even President Obama, if he were to veto this NDAA in the next couple of weeks, if he vetoes this, Republicans and the big government pro-defense Democrats out there can go to the press and say that, why is Obama opposing a package that will help rape victims? Is he pro-rape? And our mainstream media is so fucking dumb, they will actually play along with this. So right now what you need to do is you need to contact the White House, encourage President Obama to veto the NDAA until it contains a section similar to the Feinstein Amendment, which would guarantee that American citizens cannot be held indefinitely without trial. That's pretty basic stuff. These are your constitutional rights. The NDAA is total insanity. Everybody out there who has some free time on your hands, Just download this year's bill. You can get it, I believe, on govtrack.us or on the Senate and House websites. Read it yourself. Find some sections that you find to be troubling and post those sections on Reddit and dig. Get the word out. We really need to crowdsource this thing and do the research ourselves and do it very quickly because the mainstream media is ignoring this. They want this to pass with nobody paying attention, and we cannot let that happen. Thank you for watching and have a great holiday, and I hope to see many of you guys in the new year.